The following is a rebroadcast of live programming from earlier today. A late-night vote in the Senate.
The most important thing from my position is we get the government back open again. It looks like we might be doing that soon.
As lawmakers move closer to reopening the government for a limited time. Flight cancellations underway.
We had some delays with just even going through TSA.
As airports across the nation are affected, Caplin News goes live with team coverage. SNAP benefits continue to face uncertainty.
Those in our service area are experiencing some level of food insecurity, which breaks down to about 1.5 million households.
Caplin News has the latest from our DC bureau. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Sara Mallorca.
And I'm Brenda Miranda. Today is Monday, November 10, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
You are looking at live images of the White House where the potential government shutdown bill could make it to the president's desk soon. A big step in the nation's capital this morning as the longest government shutdown in U.S. history could be approaching the end.
Last night, the Senate advanced a bipartisan agreement to fund the government through the end of January by a 60-40 vote. 8 Democratic centrists voted with the Republicans on the measure to end the shutdown. The deal includes a vote on health care subsidies, food stamps, and the return of federal workers. But for now, the shutdown is still in effect.
We have senators, both Democrat and Republican, who are eager to get to work to address that crisis in a bipartisan way.
The Senate is to continue work on the legislation as the House is expected to come back into session next week. If the legislation passes both chambers, it would then go to the president's desk for his signature.
This morning marks the 4th day of flight restrictions and more than 15,000 flights were canceled nationwide. Many others were delayed.
Our DC Bureau reporter Ivana Ilewski joins us live from Reagan National Airport with more. Good morning, Ivana.
Good morning, and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says that the impacts on Thanksgiving travels could be significant. I spoke with several travelers right here at the airport right outside of DC, and some of them are dealing with a lot of delays.
We were supposed to be going from Dulles to Toronto to Vancouver, but that flight was canceled. So now we're going from Reagan to Denver to Vancouver.
This comes in the middle of the longest government shutdown in history, and air traffic controllers either working very long hours without pay or calling in sick. Many airports, including here at National, didn't have enough air traffic controllers even before the shutdown. The first round of cuts in flights has hit more than 40 major airports, including in the DC area, and the number of cancellations or delays is expected to go up even more by the end of the week. This is all happening right before the busiest travel time of the year later this month with Thanksgiving. And here we see on the screens that some flights have already been canceled and others delayed, which is causing many inconveniences for some travelers.
We had some delays with just even going through TSA. I have TSA pre-check. They had to cancel some of the security checkpoints in Dallas. And here, I think my flight now has been delayed for an hour. So
we got notified that our flight was delayed for 2 hours.
After our conversation, Elizabeth was delayed another 3 hours, and she says she missed her connection in New York for a flight to London. According to FlightAware, the website that tracks air travel in real time, this airport reported around 340 delays and around 143 cancellations yesterday. And nationwide, totals reached more than 7,000 delays and more than 2,200 cancellations.
We were here just for a sister's weekend for 2 days, and I was delayed coming out of MCO for 2 hours. I had a trip to Denver 2-3 weeks ago, 14 hours of delays, so it was really bad.
Secretary Duffy says that they are considering an offer from the Defense Department to call up military air traffic controllers to help out in the meantime. Reporting live at Reagan National Airport, I'm Ivana Ilewski, Caplin News. Back to you guys at the studio.
Our team coverage continues now to Caplin's Nicolette Espert.
She's live from Miami International Airport on how the FAA's recent move affects travelers in South Florida. Good morning, Nicolette.
Yeah, take a look right here. We're in Miami International Airport. The traffic isn't as busy as I was expecting, and that's because they're all packed in over at the gates, hoping that they still can get on their flights, as the FAA ordered a 10% in cuts in flight capacity across all major nationwide airports, including Miami International here and Fort Lauderdale up the road.
The FAA says the cuts are due to staffing shortages from the ongoing government shutdown. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents are still working, but some stopped showing up due to the government shutdown and no pay.
I don't know when it'll end, but no, I'm not going to change my travel arrangements. I had to rearrange some things.
And there's just appears to be no end in sight.
The FAA will reduce air traffic by 10% at 40 major airports, impacting thousands of flights every day. The mayor says that these cuts could have significant repercussions for Miami-Dade's economy, connectivity, and workforce. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns that the impact could grow further if funds aren't restored soon.
It's only going to get worse. You're going to see air travel be reduced to a trickle.
Of November 9th, over 7,000 flights were delayed and over 2,000 canceled.
Oh, I most definitely feel like it should be solved before the holiday season comes. It's going to be ridiculous. Right. Thank God I'm staying home.
And as Christy just mentioned, Thanksgiving is coming up, one of the most populated times for airports across the country. College kids are coming home, you're traveling to see your friends. But this year, if the government shutdown continues, you might want to stay on your couch and enjoy the Thanksgiving parade at home. For now, we're in Miami. For Caplin News, I'm Nicolette Esper.
A Supreme Court justice temporarily blocked a court order requiring the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits during the shutdown. Some states sent the payments before the Supreme Court stepped in. However, the administration is now demanding that the states stop doing that. Our DC Bureau reporter Jose Carlos Rodriguez tells us what Americans should expect.
States like California, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey are among those who sent out what the Agriculture Department calls unauthorized payments. Now, if they don't undo those SNAP benefits, they may face some penalties, which is still unclear if those are even legal.
A previous order by a lower court in Rhode Island required the Agriculture Department to use available funds to keep SNAP running through November. The lower court ruling came after states and advocacy groups sued the Trump administration, arguing it could tap reserve funding specifically designed for the SNAP program, and the administration appealed.
In the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued the stay over the weekend, pausing payments until an appeals court rules on the Trump administration's request. The SNAP program serves 1 in 8 Americans, with almost 40% being children, and the average monthly payment for a family of 4 is about $660. In Washington, food banks have been feeling the pressure.
36% of those in our service area are experiencing some level of food insecurity, which breaks down to about 1.5 million households. So we were already seeing high levels.
Those numbers could rise if SNAP benefits are delayed again.
Many states received 4 different directives in the course of 6 days, and they warn that if they don't receive funding, the consequences will be catastrophic. Now, with the Senate working towards a tentative deal and a lower court decision coming as soon as this afternoon, will determine if millions of families receive payments this month. Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Jose Carlos Rodriguez, Caplin News.
Several restaurant chains are taking action to assist families affected by the pause in SNAP benefits. National chains including TGI Fridays, Denny's, Ruby Tuesdays, and more are offering free kids meals for food stamp recipients. Alongside them, DoorDash is waiving delivery fees for grocery orders. Food banks are offering free or discounted food for recipients.
Tensions between ICE and the public are on the rise as alleged shots are fired at Border Patrol agents in neighborhoods. DHS officials say agents were attempting to detain a young woman in Chicago, enraging neighbors who are demanding they release the woman. During the operation, a man driving a black Jeep fired shots at them. Another attempt to detain a man and his 11-year-old niece angered neighbors, leading to an unsuccessful operation.
A man in Florida is facing charges this morning after a car crash kills 4 people and injures 11 others. It was Saturday in Tampa. Officers say the driver had been speeding and driving recklessly before troopers tried to stop him. They say the driver lost control, hit several people outside a business, then crashed into the building. The driver was arrested and faces charges of vehicular homicide and aggravated fleeing.
One special program helped turn the page back to a passion for children's books.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
To do what she did, to swim that long, that many miles, is inhuman.
A historical honor makes a splash for swim legend Diana Nyad. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Legendary swimmer is being celebrated for a lifetime of determination and inspiration. Record-breaking swimmer Diana Nyad was honored with a historical marker.
This took place over the weekend in her own hometown in Fort Lauderdale. Here's how the ceremony went.
Crowds of supporters, city officials, and family members gathered to celebrate Nyad's record-breaking swim and lifelong message of never giving up. The ceremony was filled with heartfelt speeches, photos from her journey, and a cake decorated in her honor.
I mean, to do what she did, to swim that long, that many miles, is inhuman to me.
A Florida historical marker here at Los Olas Oceanside Park. Nyad became the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida, a journey that lasted 60 hours through open waters and decades of determination.
Today we have a true champion, someone who somehow persevered through shark-infested waters, through climate conditions, through all kinds of things that would daunt anybody, but not Diana.
Dream team, onward.
The new marker is the first in Florida to recognize a member of the LGBTQ community and the first to honor someone still living. It marks a historic moment for both Nyad and the generations who draw strength from her journey.
It's emotional. I literally grew up right on Las Olas, right across the bridge. We would walk here as kids. This was our playground. This was the place my mother pointed across toward Cuba and said, "You can swim there. You little 9-year-old champion swimmer, you could actually swim to Cuba if that's what you're interested in," because I was. So it's a very formative place, and I'm in love with Fort Lauderdale.
At 76, Diana Nyad's story continues to inspire people to face their own oceans and keep swimming onward.
A heartwarming story out of Iowa where one assisted living facility is making dreams come true for its residents. 90-year-old former teacher Shirley Lamb got to read her favorite book to local kids thanks to staff at Glenwood Place Assisted Living. Lamb's family watched proudly as she pushed through a sore throat to share her love of children's literature. Her caretaker called it a dream come true, just in time for Shirley's 91st birthday next week. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by PantherTech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Brenda Miranda.
I'm Sara Mallorca. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.